When I first learned that my wife, Mia, was pregnant, I thought life had finally rewarded me. After 3 years of marriage, we had been trying for a baby, and when she told me the news, I hugged her so tightly that tears rolled down both our faces. I started working extra hours to prepare for our child's future, dreaming of little footsteps echoing through our home. Every night, I talked to her belly, imagining our baby smiling at me. But what I didn't know was that the joy I felt was built on a cruel lie. As the months passed, something about Mia began to change. She grew distant, often staring at her phone and smiling at messages she never let me see. When I asked, she'd claim it was just her friends checking on her pregnancy. I trusted her. After all, we were about to have a child together. But the doubt started to grow, quietly, like a shadow at the back of my mind. One day, when she left her phone charging in the living room, a message popped up from a name I didn't recognize. "Can't wait to meet our baby." My heart froze. For a long minute, I couldn't breathe. I felt my world crumble right there. When I confronted her later that night, she laughed nervously and said it was a joke from a coworker. But her shaking hands and trembling lips betrayed her. I couldn't sleep that night. My mind kept spinning between anger and heartbreak. The next morning, I decided to get the truth no matter what. When Mia went for her prenatal checkup, I secretly arranged for a DNA test using a sample she left behind. Waiting for the results felt like an eternity. Every minute stretched into an hour, every thought whispering that maybe I was overreacting. But when the results came in, they shattered every hope I had left. The baby wasn't mine. That evening, I sat across from her at dinner, my heart numb. I slid the envelope across the table and said quietly, "Explain this." She looked at it, then at me, and suddenly her face twisted with rage instead of guilt. "You had no right to do that," she screamed. "You don't trust me. You're pathetic." Her voice rose higher, trembling with fury, and before I could respond, she hurled the plate across the room. I stared at her, completely stunned. Here I was, the man who had loved her, cared for her, and planned a life with her, and now she was furious, not because she had been caught lying, but because I dared to find out the truth. The more she yelled, the more I realized the woman standing before me wasn't the person I had married. Something inside me broke for good that night. When she stormed out of the kitchen, I sat there for a long time, staring at the shattered glass on the floor. I knew what I had to do. I gathered the evidence, made copies of everything, and contacted my lawyer. Within a week, I had filed for divorce. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted peace. When Mia was served the papers, she acted shocked. "You can't just leave me like this," she shouted. "I'm pregnant." I looked her in the eyes and said calmly, "You're right, you're pregnant. But not with my child." Her face went pale, and for the first time, she had no words. I packed my things that same evening. I didn't take much, just what was mine. The house, the car, the savings account, all were in my name because I had bought and earned them before we married. I left her with nothing but her lies. She tried to call, tried to threaten and guilt me, but I was done. Weeks passed, and the silence that followed was both painful and peaceful. I found a small apartment across town, far from the chaos. My friends told me she was spreading rumors, saying I had abandoned her. But I didn't care. The truth was mine to live with, and that was enough. Months later, I saw her by chance at a grocery store. She looked tired, carrying the weight of her choices. She glanced at me but quickly looked away. In that moment, I realized how far I had come. I no longer felt anger, just pity. She had destroyed the one person who would have stood by her through anything. I never remarried, but I rebuilt myself. The betrayal had cut deep, but it taught me something priceless. Never ignore the signs, and never let someone's lies blind you to your own worth. I used to think walking away meant losing, but now I know it means protecting your peace. Mia eventually moved out of town, and I never heard from her again. Sometimes, when I drive past our old neighborhood, I think about the life that could have been. But then I remember that honesty is the foundation of love, and without it, even the strongest home crumbles. In the end, I didn't leave her out of cruelty. I left because she made a choice that destroyed everything between us. And when the truth finally came out, I realized that walking away wasn't weakness, it was freedom.